Basically, I was involved in the golf course industry. I was a golf course superintendent, and kind of progressed through my career pretty quickly. Rose pretty quickly, and kind of hit a ceiling, I would say. Um, I guess I was probably about 26 or 27 at the time, and I mean, I was making good money, but I was kind of looking out into the future, and I thought, well, how is my life going to change 10 years from now? And it wasn't, because I didn't really have anywhere to go. So what I did was really started to think, I really enjoyed doing what I was doing, so I wanted to keep with my training and keep it with what I knew well. So I really was focusing on researching lawn care companies. So that's really where I got started, because I knew I wanted to go into lawn care. I just wasn't sure, which route I wanted to take, whether it be doing it on my own or going with the franchise. So it's kind of where it started. One of the reasons why I chose Weedman was because, the budgeting and the systems were in place. It really allowed me to sleep at night, because I could think of 1,001 different ways to market lawn care, but what to expect and what I should expect the first year, I would have no idea. It would just be a guess. So having proven systems that I've worked in the past, and certainly I'm not going to repeat them word for word or whatever, but having a history there, I think really helps somebody like myself that I have no experience in lawn care whatsoever. Really, the thing that really drew me to Weedman initially was the agronomic part, because so many lawn care companies out there, we're not using slow release fertilizers, we're not using the best weed control products, and Weedman really gave you that option as far as making the decisions about what you wanted to use. The fertilizer that they required you to use was a really great one, and just from doing the research and my own general knowledge, it was by far the best one on the market as far as what companies were using, when you compare it to like a True Green or Scott's or other lawn care companies out there. So the more I looked into it, the more I found companies cutting corners, things like that with their, you got to remember 2008, when I got in, it was great until the end. The end of '08 was like when everybody's world fell apart, but people are cutting corners. So, and Weedman wasn't doing that. So I was like, well, that says something about the company, I think. We've had a down economy ever since I've started Weedman. So everybody's like, well, how's the economy affecting you? I'm like, I don't really know, because I've never had a really good economy. But one thing is, we've grown really quickly, and we've grown every year by a lot. More than $100,000 every year. So, I don't, get back to me when we have a good economy, and I can't imagine it's going to get any tougher. So Terry and I would always joke, as long as the economy stays bad, we'll be okay. Just because we're having success. But as far as being a superintendent, I mean, it's a lot of the same stuff of managing a crew and managing expectations. But more so than anything, it's twofold. It's you're pulling revenue out of the company, you're making money. The other thing you're doing is really building an asset. And I guess the third component of it would be just, hey, you're controlling your own fate. I mean, where I came from a really high-end golf club in Chicago, and money's great, golf course is really fun, but you can be hired or fired at the drop of a hat, usually not really depending on the job that you did. So that's really what drew me to it, is just the flexibility and just building that asset. The recurring revenues is really nice, and just the support from the franchise system itself.